The world of cybersecurity is exciting and it's also constantly evolving. For those aspiring to become security analysts, the learning curve can seem steep. There's a critical need to understand complex threats. You must also master the tools designed to combat them. This is where the concept of a virtual SOC, or Security Operations Center, comes into play. A virtual SOC is a simulated environment that mirrors the functions of a real-world SOC. In essence, it's a cybersecurity laboratory. Here you can build, test, and refine your skills using a combination of hardware and software. Think of it as a flight simulator for cybersecurity professionals. Just as pilots train in a safe environment, a virtual SOC allows you to experience realistic cyber threats. You'll learn to use industry-standard tools, and you'll develop the skills to detect, analyze, and respond to attacks. Let's delve deeper into the heart of a virtual SOC. Imagine a dedicated space on your computer. It's walled off from your main system. This is where your virtual SOC resides. Within this contained environment, you'll create a miniature network. This virtual network will mimic a real-world organization's infrastructure. You can have virtual servers, workstations, firewalls, and more. All these components interact just like their real-world counterparts. This provides an authentic setting to hone your skills. The true magic happens when you introduce security tools into this virtual world. You can install and configure firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and security information and event management (SIM) systems. These tools will form the backbone of your virtual SOC. They allow you to monitor and protect your virtual network from simulated attacks. The power of a virtual SOC lies in its ability to simulate real-world cyber attacks. You can use readily available tools to generate attacks. These tools will target your virtual network. This allows you to witness firsthand how attacks unfold. Imagine a scenario where you want to understand the mechanics of a ransomware attack. In your virtual SOC, you can simulate this attack in a controlled environment. You can observe how ransomware spreads through your virtual network, and you can see its impact on different systems. This simulation offers invaluable insights. You'll learn to identify the attack's signature. You can then test various mitigation strategies. And importantly, you can see how your security tools, like your SIEM, detect and respond to the threat. This practical experience is far more effective than theoretical knowledge. Section 3. Benefits of a virtual training ground. The benefits of using a virtual SOC for training are numerous. Firstly, it provides a safe space for learning. You can make mistakes, experiment, and learn from your errors without the fear of causing damage to real systems. This freedom is crucial for building confidence in your abilities. Secondly, a virtual SOC offers cost-effectiveness. Setting up a real-world SOC requires significant financial investment in hardware, software, and personnel. A virtual SOC, on the other hand, can be built using readily available resources and free or open-source software. Thirdly, a virtual SOC allows for flexibility and customization. You can tailor the environment to your specific learning needs. You can choose the operating systems, applications, and security tools you wish to work with. This personalized approach enhances the learning experience. In essence, a virtual SOC is an invaluable tool for aspiring cybersecurity professionals. It provides a practical, safe, and affordable way to gain hands-on experience, build essential skills, and prepare for the challenges of the ever-evolving cybersecurity landscape. Section 4. Building your virtual arsenal. Now that we understand the benefits, let's talk about building your virtual SOC. The first step is choosing the right virtualization software. This software is crucial. It allows you to create and manage virtual machines on your computer. Popular choices include Oracle VM VirtualBox and VMware Workstation Player. Both are free for personal use and offer user-friendly interfaces. Once you've installed your chosen software, you'll need to download operating system images. These images are used to create your virtual machines. You can find free and legal versions of operating systems like Ubuntu and Kali Linux online. These operating systems are popular choices for cybersecurity professionals. They come with a wide range of pre-installed security tools. With your virtualization software and operating system images ready, you can start creating virtual machines. These virtual machines will represent the different components of your virtual network, such as servers, workstations, and security appliances. We'll delve into the specifics of creating and configuring these virtual machines in the next part of our guide. Section 1. Laying the foundation. Building a virtual SOC, much like constructing a real-world security operations center, requires careful planning and a solid foundation. Before diving into the technical setup, it's crucial to outline your objectives and determine the scope of your virtual environment. What specific cybersecurity skills do you aim to develop? Are you interested in incident response, threat intelligence, or perhaps malware analysis? Defining your goals will guide your choices regarding the virtual network architecture, the operating systems to deploy, and the security tools to install. Consider the scale of your virtual SOC. Will it be a simple network with a handful of virtual machines, or do you envision a more complex environment with multiple subnets and diverse operating systems? The complexity of your setup will influence the hardware resources required and the time investment needed for configuration. Once you have a clear vision of your objectives and the scope of your virtual SOC, you can move on to the next crucial step: selecting the appropriate hardware and software components. These elements will serve as the building blocks of your virtual cybersecurity playground. Section 2. Hardware, the engine of your virtual SOC. Your virtual SOC's performance hinges on the capabilities of your physical hardware. Since you'll be running multiple virtual machines concurrently, each simulating different aspects of a network, your computer needs sufficient resources to handle the workload without significant slowdowns. Start with a robust processor, preferably a multi-core CPU with a high clock speed. The more cores and threads your processor has, the better it can manage the simultaneous processing demands of multiple virtual machines. Next, ensure you have ample RAM. Virtual machines consume memory, and running multiple VMs simultaneously can quickly deplete your system's available RAM. Aim for at least 8 GB of RAM as a starting point, but consider 16 GB or more for smoother operation, especially if you plan to create a complex virtual network. Finally, pay attention to storage. Virtual machines reside on your hard drive, and their performance is influenced by the speed of your storage device. A solid-state drive, or SSD, is highly recommended for its faster read and write speeds compared to traditional hard disk drives or HDDs. An SSD will significantly improve the responsiveness of your virtual machines. Section 3. Software, the brains of your virtual world. With the hardware foundation in place, you can now focus on the software components that will breathe life into your virtual SOC. The essential software element is virtualization software, which allows you to create and manage virtual machines on your computer. Two popular choices for virtualization software are Oracle VM VirtualBox and VMware Workstation Player. Both are available for free for personal use and offer user-friendly interfaces, making them excellent options for beginners. VirtualBox is renowned for its simplicity and cross-platform compatibility, while VMware Workstation Player boasts slightly better performance, particularly for resource-intensive tasks. Once you've installed your chosen virtualization software, the next step is to acquire operating system images. These images are files that contain the complete software necessary to run an operating system in a virtual machine. You'll need to choose operating systems that align with your learning objectives and the type of network environment you wish to simulate. For instance, if you're interested in penetration testing, Kali Linux, a Debian-based distribution packed with security auditing and penetration testing tools, would be an excellent choice. On the other hand, if you want to explore Windows-based attacks and defenses, you can download a trial version of Windows from Microsoft's website for testing purposes within your virtual environment. Section 4. Choosing your virtualization platform. Selecting the right virtualization platform is paramount. This decision hinges on your specific needs, budget, and technical expertise. Two primary contenders dominate the virtualization arena: hypervisors and containers. Understanding their distinctions is crucial. Hypervisors, like the aforementioned VirtualBox and VMware Workstation, reign supreme in creating virtual machines. They emulate complete computer systems, each running its own operating system instance. This isolation offers robust security and stability, as any issues within one VM won't impact others or your host machine. Containers, conversely, operate at the application level, sharing the host operating system's kernel. This lightweight approach requires fewer resources and offers faster startup times. Docker, a popular containerization platform, excels in deploying and managing applications in isolated environments. For aspiring SOC analysts, starting with a hypervisor like VirtualBox or VMware Workstation is recommended. These platforms provide a more traditional virtualization experience, closely mirroring the setup of real-world servers and networks. Once you're comfortable with the fundamentals of virtualization, you can explore the world of containers and their applications in cybersecurity. With your hardware and virtualization software in place, the next step is to design and build the virtual network within which your virtual SOC will reside. This virtual network will mirror a real-world organization's infrastructure, enabling you to simulate network traffic, test security configurations, and experience how attacks spread across interconnected systems. Start by envisioning the network architecture you wish to create. Do you want a simple network with a single subnet, or a more complex environment with multiple subnets segmented by firewalls? Consider the types of devices you'll need, such as servers, workstations, and security appliances, and how they'll connect. Most virtualization software allows you to create virtual switches, which act as network hubs within your virtual environment. You can create multiple virtual switches to segment your network into different subnets, just like in a real-world scenario. Each virtual machine can then be connected to a specific virtual switch, defining its place within the network. Remember to configure the network settings for each virtual machine according to its role in the network. For instance, your virtual firewall should be placed at the edge of your network, bridging the connection between your virtual SOC and the outside world, represented by your host machine's network connection. With your virtual network blueprint ready, you can now start creating the virtual machines that will populate your virtual SOC. Each virtual machine will represent a specific device on your network, such as a server, workstation, or security appliance. Using your chosen virtualization software, create a new virtual machine for each device in your network plan. Select the appropriate operating system image for each virtual machine, ensuring it aligns with the intended role of the device. For instance, if you're creating a virtual Windows domain controller, you'll need a Windows Server operating system image. Allocate sufficient hardware resources to each virtual machine based on its anticipated workload. Assign enough CPU cores, RAM, and storage space to ensure smooth operation. You can adjust these settings later if needed, but providing adequate resources from the start will prevent performance bottlenecks. Once you've created your virtual machines, power them on and proceed with the operating system installation process. Follow the on-screen instructions for each operating system to complete the installation and configure the basic system settings such as network settings, user accounts, and updates. With your virtual machines up and running, it's time to connect them according to your virtual network plan. This involves configuring the network settings for each virtual machine and connecting them to the appropriate virtual switches you created earlier. Most virtualization software offers different networking modes for virtual machines, each with its own implications for network connectivity. Bridged networking mode allows your virtual machines to obtain IP addresses from your host machine's network, effectively making them part of your physical network. NAT, Network Address Translation Mode, on the other hand, places your virtual machines behind a virtual NAT router, providing them with internet access while keeping them isolated from your physical network. Host-only mode creates a private network that exists solely between your virtual machines and your host machine, isolating them from both the internet and your physical network. Choose the networking mode that best suits your needs and configure the network settings for each virtual machine accordingly. Ensure that your virtual machines can communicate with each other as intended, and that any firewalls or security appliances are properly positioned to control network traffic. Section 4. Security Tools, arming your virtual bastion. Your virtual SOC structure is now standing tall, but it needs the tools of the trade to truly come alive. It's time to fortify your virtual environment with the security tools that will empower you to monitor, detect, and respond to simulated cyber threats. Begin by selecting a Security Information and Event Management or CM system as the cornerstone of your virtual SOC. A CM system aggregates and analyzes log data from various sources within your virtual network, providing a centralized platform for threat detection and incident response. Popular CM options include Splunk, LKStack, which consists of Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana, and Alien Vault Awesome. Install your chosen SIEM system on a dedicated virtual machine within your network and configure it to collect logs from your other virtual machines such as servers, workstations, and firewalls. Next, bolster your defenses with intrusion detection and prevention systems, or IDPS. These tools monitor network traffic for malicious activity, generating alerts and even blocking suspicious connections in real time. Snort, Suricata, and Zeek are widely used open-source IDPS options that can add an extra layer of protection to your virtual SOC. Section 1. Unleashing Simulated Attacks. Congratulations! Your virtual SOC is now fortified with essential security tools, eagerly awaiting their first test. This is where the excitement kicks in. Simulating cyber attacks to observe your defenses in action and refine your incident response skills. But before launching your first attack, it's crucial to approach this phase with a strategic mindset. Start by defining your attack scenarios. What specific threats do you want to simulate? A phishing campaign, a ransomware attack, or perhaps a web application vulnerability exploit. Clearly outlining your objectives will guide your choice of attack tools and techniques, ensuring your simulations align with real-world threats. Remember, the goal is not merely to breach your defenses, but to understand the attack lifecycle. Observe how your security tools respond and identify areas for improvement. Document your attack plan, including the tools you'll use, the steps involved in the attack, and the expected outcomes. This documentation will serve as a valuable reference point for analysis and improvement. With your attack scenarios defined and your plan in place, you're ready to unleash your first simulated attack. Choose your weapon wisely. A plethora of attack simulation tools are at your disposal, each offering unique capabilities to mimic various attack vectors. Section 2. The Art of Attack Simulation. The world of cybersecurity offers an arsenal of attack simulation tools, each designed to emulate specific threats and vulnerabilities. Selecting the right tools for your virtual SOC depends on your learning objectives and the attack scenarios you wish to simulate. For social engineering attacks, such as phishing campaigns, consider tools like the Social Engineer Toolkit, or SET, and GoPhish. These tools allow you to craft convincing phishing emails, set up fake websites, and capture credentials, simulating the tactics employed by real-world attackers. To test your network defenses against exploitation attempts, Metasploit Framework, a penetration testing framework, is an invaluable asset. Metasploit offers a vast library of exploits, payloads, and auxiliary modules, allowing you to simulate various attacks, from buffer overflows to SQL injections, against your virtual machines. For more targeted attacks, such as those exploiting specific vulnerabilities in applications or operating systems, consider vulnerability scanners like OpenVAS or Nessus. These tools scan your virtual machines for known weaknesses, providing valuable insights for patching and hardening your systems against real-world threats. Section 3. Monitoring the battlefield. The CM's watchful eye. As your simulated attacks unfold, your CM system takes center stage, acting as the vigilant guardian of your virtual SOC. The CM's role is to collect, correlate, and analyze log data from various sources within your network, providing real-time visibility into suspicious activities and potential security breaches. Configure your CM to ingest logs from all critical systems within your virtual SOC, including your virtual firewall, intrusion detection system, domain controller, and any other servers or applications you deem essential. The more data points you feed into your CM, the more comprehensive its view of your environment and the better its ability to detect anomalies. Define correlation rules within your CM to identify patterns and relationships between events that might indicate an attack. For instance, you might create a rule that triggers an alert if multiple failed login attempts are detected from the same source IP address within a short time frame, suggesting a brute force attack. Regularly review the alerts generated by your CM, investigating each one to determine its legitimacy and potential impact. False positives are common, but each alert presents an opportunity to fine-tune your CM's configuration, reducing noise and improving its accuracy in detecting genuine threats. Section 4. Incident Response. Sharpening your reflexes. When your CM raises the alarm, signaling a potential security incident, it's time to put your incident response skills to the test. Incident response is the process of mitigating the damage caused by a security breach, containing the threat, and restoring normal operations as quickly as possible. Develop an incident response plan tailored to your virtual SOC environment. This plan should outline the steps to take in response to different types of security incidents, such as malware infections, data breaches, or denial of service attacks. Define roles and responsibilities for your incident response team, even if it's just you in this virtual setting. Practice your incident response procedures within your virtual SOC. Use the insights gained from your CM and other security tools to identify the scope of the incident, contain the threat, and eradicate the root cause. For instance, if you detect a malware infection, isolate the affected virtual machine, analyze the malware, and then clean or rebuild the system. Document your actions throughout the incident response process, noting the steps taken, the challenges faced, and the lessons learned. This documentation will be invaluable for improving your incident response plan, refining your procedures, and enhancing your ability to respond swiftly and effectively to future security incidents. Section 1. Reflections on the virtual battlefield. As the dust settles on your simulated cyber battlefield, take a moment to reflect on the journey you've undertaken. You've transitioned from an aspiring analyst with a thirst for knowledge to a builder, a defender, and an incident responder within your own virtual realm. The skills you've honed in this virtual space are directly transferable to the real world, equipping you with the confidence to face tomorrow's cyber threats head-on. Recall the meticulous planning that went into designing your virtual SOC, the careful selection of hardware and software components, and the satisfaction of seeing your virtual network come to life. Each virtual machine, each network connection, and each security tool represented a building block in your cybersecurity foundation, a testament to your commitment to mastering this ever-evolving field. Remember the adrenaline rush of launching your first simulated attack, the tension of monitoring your CM for signs of compromise, and the sense of accomplishment as you successfully mitigated the threat. Every successful defense, every lesson learned from a near miss, has sharpened your instincts and prepared you for the challenges that await in the real world of cybersecurity. Section 2. The Power of Hands-on Learning. The journey of building and operating your virtual SOC has underscored a fundamental truth in cybersecurity education. There is no substitute for hands-on experience. While theoretical knowledge is crucial, it's in the trenches of practical application that true understanding emerges. By confronting simulated threats in a controlled environment, you've gained invaluable insights that textbooks alone could never provide. Now, consider the difference between reading about a cross-site scripting (XSS) attack and actually witnessing its execution within your virtual SOC. By launching a simulated XSS attack, you've seen firsthand how an attacker can inject malicious code into a vulnerable web application, how that code can compromise user data, and how your security tools, such as a web application firewall (WAF), can mitigate the threat. This hands-on approach has not only deepened your technical understanding but has also fostered critical thinking and problem-solving skills. You've learned to analyze attack patterns, identify vulnerabilities, and develop mitigation strategies, all within the safe confines of your virtual world, where mistakes are learning opportunities, not catastrophic events. The confidence you've gained from this practical experience will serve you well as you transition from the virtual realm to the real world of cybersecurity, where the stakes are higher, but the skills you've honed are equally invaluable. Section 3. From simulation to real-world readiness. While your virtual SOC has provided an exceptional training ground, the ultimate goal is to apply your newfound skills in real-world cybersecurity scenarios. The transition from simulation to reality might seem daunting, but rest assured, the foundation you've built is solid, and the knowledge you've gained is directly transferable. Many of the tools and techniques you've mastered in your virtual SOC, such as CM analysis, intrusion detection, and incident response, are the bread and butter of real-world security operations centers. The key difference lies in the scale and complexity of the environment. Real-world networks are vast, dynamic, and constantly under threat from a relentless tide of cyber attacks. To bridge the gap, consider seeking opportunities to apply your skills in controlled real-world settings. Participate in Capture the Flag (CTF) competitions, which challenge your cybersecurity skills in simulated attack defense scenarios. Volunteer your expertise to help secure small businesses or nonprofit organizations, gaining valuable experience in a real-world environment. The transition from virtual to real-world cybersecurity is a journey of continuous learning and adaptation. Embrace the challenges, learn from your experiences, and never stop honing your skills. Section 4. Embracing continuous improvement. In the ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity, complacency is not an option. The threats we face today will pale in comparison to those that await us tomorrow. As such, your journey as a cybersecurity professional is one of continuous learning, adaptation, and improvement. Your virtual SOC is not a static creation but a dynamic learning environment that should evolve alongside your growing expertise. Regularly revisit your virtual SOC, expanding its scope, introducing new attack scenarios, and incorporating the latest security tools and techniques. Experiment with different CM configurations, fine-tune your intrusion detection rules, and explore advanced incident response procedures. The more you challenge yourself within the safe confines of your virtual environment, the better prepared you'll be for the unexpected in the real world. Stay abreast of the latest cybersecurity trends and emerging threats. Follow industry blogs, attend webinars, and engage with the cybersecurity community. The knowledge you gain from these sources will inform your virtual SOC's evolution, ensuring it remains a relevant and challenging training ground. Remember, the pursuit of cybersecurity mastery is a marathon, not a sprint. Embrace the journey, celebrate your progress, and never lose sight of your passion for protecting our digital world. Section 5. Your journey to cybersecurity mastery. As you stand at the cusp of your cybersecurity career, armed with the knowledge and skills honed in your virtual SOC, remember that this is just the beginning. The path ahead will be filled with challenges, but also with opportunities to make a real difference. The skills you've developed are in high demand, and your expertise is crucial in safeguarding our increasingly interconnected world. Whether you choose to pursue a career as a security analyst, penetration tester, incident responder, or any other role within the vast realm of cybersecurity, the foundation you've built will serve you well. Embrace the challenges ahead, never stop learning, and always strive to make a positive impact on the world. Your journey into the world of cybersecurity began with a single step: the decision to learn and explore. Now, armed with the knowledge, skills, and confidence gained from building and operating your own virtual SOC, you're ready to take on the world, one bite at a time. Remember, the future of cybersecurity rests in the hands of those who dare to dream, build, and defend. Go forth and make your mark on the digital world, knowing that you have the power to make a difference.